You're listening to the Wear Wag Repeat podcast, the only show 100% dedicated to supporting petpreneurs in all areas of the pet industry. I'm your host, Tori Mistick, the founder of Wear Wag Repeat, and I am back here with my dog Bert on the big blue couch in my office to bring you this week's new episode. So if you listened to last week, you know that this month, May, is all about batching content and automating your systems because I'm all about saving you time. And last week, I kind of shared a personal story about why it is so important to me. I've realized a heightened level of importance of saving time because my dogs are getting older, and in particular, my other dog, Lucy, her health is not the best. She has a type of cancer called hemangiosarcoma. So every day and every minute that I can spend with her is really important. So that's why I am batching and creating automated systems as much as I can. Anytime I do anything these days, I think, am I going to do this again? Is there a chance that I could possibly automate this or come up with some sort of system to save me time next time this comes up? It's all I can think about. And so I want to share what I'm doing with you so that hopefully it can help you save some time. So today is part one of a two-part mini-series, so make sure that you subscribe and follow my show wherever you're listening, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe so that you check the part two of this series next week. So today we're going to talk about how content batching is not just for Instagram and for social media, and how I use it in different places across my pet business. So first of all, I want to talk to you about how I batch and create these podcast episodes. Then I'm going to share with you some ideas on how you might want to batch some email newsletter stuff. And if you are interested in sharing affiliate links, or if affiliate income is a thing for you in your business, we'll talk about how you can work on batching stuff there to kind of get a little extra revenue stream going for you. So batching your content and coming up with some sort of a system that you can replicate over and over again, it's really important because it reduces the overwhelm. I find that when I have a system and I know this is step 1, step 2, step 3, yada, yada. Sometimes there's a lot of steps. But when I know what the steps are, it really makes me feel less overwhelmed because I know what I have to do and I know that I can do it because I've created this really wonderful, replicable system that I can follow every time that I need to do it. Batching and creating systems also keeps you consistent, and consistency, my friend, is key. Consistency is king or queen. Content is king. Consistency is queen. I don't know. I'm off on a tangent right now, but consistency is really, really important. I see it here as I'm trying to grow my YouTube account, that when I post consistently every single week, my watch hours go up. I see it when I'm posting for one of my clients, Pup O'Clock. I'm managing their Instagram account, and when we post consistently every single week, 3 posts a week, their views on their account went from 700 views in 30 days to over 16,000 views in 30 days. So consistency really is the top thing. It's the queen. It's the king. It's the key to life. See if you can come up with a smoother way for me to say that the next time I want to mention it. And then lastly, the really important thing about batching and systems is that it saves you time so that you can actually run your business, or you can go do the other things that you want to do. But we all kind of have our zone of genius. And I think a lot of us didn't get into the pet industry because we love batching podcast episodes. I actually had a podcast producer for years who produced all of my episodes. He edited them and published them for me because I found that I did not enjoy that level of detail when I was doing weekly interviews. I was interviewing women every single week. I did hundreds of interviews and I loved doing the interviews. I didn't so much love the actual process of editing and publishing the episode. So I outsourced that for a long time. But now I've kind of found a reignited love for it because I have a wonderful system in place. I like how I lined that up there. It couldn't have been better. So do you want to hear what this fabulous system is? Yes? Okay. All right. I'll tell you. So, the key to me enjoying and getting this podcast out every single week with these new solo episodes has been pre-planning and batching them out. So here's exactly what I do. I outline 2 to 3, sometimes 4. Today I'm doing 4 episodes. I'm recording them all in one sitting, and then I'll go later at a later date and I'll kind of get them all ready. But here's the plan that I follow. I come up with the ideas for the episodes, so like somewhere between 2 to 4 episodes. And I usually use ChatGPT. I have a great custom GPT that I work with that is geared towards coming up with podcast ideas. So I give that GPT a whole bunch of information about my show, about you, my audience, about what my goals are for these episodes, and any other kind of ideas or brainstorms that I've had. Usually I keep like a running note in the Notes app on my phone where I just jot down ideas. And so sometimes I'll just copy and paste that note into this GPT and say, is any of this good? How can I make this work together? And so eventually I'll get to a point where I have 2 to 4 episodes that I like that all kind of go together well. So like for this month, our theme of the month in Wear Wag Repeat Society is batching content and automating systems. So all 4 episodes of the podcast this month are on that topic as well. So it made sense to me to just batch them all together. So here I'm sitting here, I'm recording the second one. I have 2 more to go. So I come up with my outline. And by the way, I already have the outlines for the next 2 sitting here on my laptop. I'm going to get to them after I do this episode. I come up with the outlines, and then I use Google Docs to organize my scripts and my talking points. I'm looking at my Google Doc right now, but I like to keep these all in a Google Doc together because I'm going to go back and reference that document many other times throughout my workflow. So once I have all my talking points organized in this Google Doc, and I have a special folder that is all about the podcast, I have it all organized in like 100 episode chunks because this is episode 350, y'all. So I have a whole lot of episodes to listen to and keep organized. And I want to have a record of all of this because I do go back and reference it all the time. So I have everything on my Google Docs. And then the actual system, this is new, this recording a video sitting here on my couch in my office. This is a totally new system, and it took me a while to figure it out. So here's what I figured out, what's working for me right now. In front of me, I have a tripod with my iPhone clipped to it. I have a very long cord running from that iPhone to my microphone that I have right next to me. I did buy a wireless mic that I was using for the previous number of episodes since I got that. But then I figured out that I could just set up my really nice podcasting mic right next to me, and I had the correct attachment to plug it into my phone. So that's what I'm doing now. I have my laptop right in front of me where I can see my notes and I can reference them and look at my talking points. Since we're doing video, I also have another tripod right over here to the left of me where I have a big LED light attached to it that is reflecting light all over the room. So what I do, I get my outline all ready. I sit down here. Bert always joins me. I don't even ask him to. This is naturally where he likes to sit, but he's an integral part of the podcast recording process. So we get all situated. We get all of our gear and technology and hardware all set up. I sit here, I talk to the camera, and then when I am done, I will do another one. I'll do all 4 of these in a row. Also, I'll sit here. It'll take me maybe an hour and a half to record all 4 of these episodes in one sitting. Of course, I check the audio and the video after each one to make sure that it looks good and it sounds good because you don't want to waste your time realizing that you didn't hit record or something silly like that later down the road. And so then once I get all my videos ready, I airdrop the video from my phone to my computer. On my computer, I do a little bit of light editing. I might need to clip the front and the end of the episode. I really don't try to edit anything in the middle of the episode unless there is some sort of big gap or something that I need to handle to delete. So I do very light editing. I might adjust the lighting a little bit. I might adjust the sound levels a little bit. And then I add a little bit of text titles and stuff because this is going on YouTube. And then I export that video so I can upload it to YouTube. While that video is uploading to YouTube, I also export just the audio file. So whatever video editing software you're using, you can always export just the audio portion. So I export the audio and I upload that to a program that I have called CastMagic. CastMagic is really cool. It's like podcasting magic. And it's really cool, great software that I got through AppSumo, like a while ago, over a year ago. And I can upload my audio and it will create a automatically generated transcript. But it remembers like how to spell my name and how to spell Wear Wag Repeat Society. A lot of other stuff totally misspells stuff all the time. So it can kind of remember me, or I can go in and correct stuff. And I will take that transcript and then I will use that transcript back in ChatGPT to help me generate the title, the description. It helps me think of what kind of text to put on the thumbnail for YouTube. The transcript is really the key to figuring all of that out. So I have found that, if I give ChatGPT or whatever AI my outline, like the talking points I'm looking at right now, it doesn't create as rich of a description and title for the episode. So instead, I just take the transcript, it's word for word, everything that I ended up talking about, because sometimes I go a little off script, and it will take everything that I've talked about and it will come up with a really wonderful, comprehensive, rich title and description. It'll give me some options, and I'll pick one of those and I'll use that for the title on YouTube and also on Libsyn, which is where I host the audio. I thought about, as I started to do this video podcast, how I could upload the video automatically to Libsyn, but what I found was that there were some storage limit issues. So if I didn't want to pay boku bucks every single month for hosting these giant video files, I could just stick with what I was doing, which was uploading the audio. So audio files are much smaller than video files, and I just upload the video directly to YouTube. And I have it saved to like this special podcast playlist. So if you look at my profile, there's actually a menu option for podcasts, and it's actually in the YouTube podcast feed as well. So it's still showing up as a podcast there, and then the actual audio of the podcast goes on Libsyn. Now, this is my first time batching with my wonderful Blue Yeti mic next to me. I was doing the previous ones with my wireless lavalier mic, and I wasn't super wild about the sound quality with the wireless mic. I ended up going back into GarageBand and kind of trying to mess with the levels a little bit to get it to match how good, like sometimes I do a pre-roll or a post-roll recording, and I always do that with this mic, and so it was kind of inconsistent. So I'm really looking forward to going and editing these and seeing how it sounds with my nice podcasting microphone, and hopefully I won't have to do separate editing to the audio files, which I had been doing for a little while there. So anyhow, that's kind of my work process. When I'm ready to schedule or publish everything, at that point, I would go back into CastMagic, and it can help you identify good clips or good quotes from your episode. So I'll find out where there's a good clip or a good quote, and I will know, I'll be able to look for that on the video file on my phone. And I can go and use that as a reel or a YouTube short or however I want to share that. And then I share the episode everywhere. So that's like a whole other workflow that I'm not going to get into. Today, we're just talking about how I actually create the content. So that's exactly what I do to create this podcast. So I hope that is interesting to you. Just to kind of round out this episode, I do want to share with you some other ideas in case you're not a podcaster and you don't have a podcast. There are other things that you could be batching and creating content ahead of time, like I'm doing for this podcast. So email newsletters, are a big thing. Obviously, you can batch your email newsletters. You don't have to sit and write it in the moment. But if you do want to kind of add some sort of relevant personal touch of what's happening to you this week, you could batch the majority of the body of it and then just each week go in and add a little personal note at the top or a little personal PS at the bottom or something like that. Another way that you can batch content in your email newsletters is by creating reusable blocks. So I use Kit for all of my email marketing, and I highly recommend it. I love it. And there are all kinds of blocks that you can create and like reusable snippets and things like that. So I have a poll at the end of all of my emails that say, which emails do you want to get from me? Do you want the pet parent ones, the petpreneur ones, or both? And so every single email that goes out, it's asking people, and I'm gathering more data and refining the segments of my list. So that's really great and really smart. And of course, you can reuse and recycle the intro or the footer or any kind of links that you put at the bottom. And there's tons of inspiration out there. Just sign up for a bunch of email lists and see what other people are doing and what you like, and you can come up with sort of a reusable system for yourself. And then finally, the last little thing I want to mention here, because I really want you to make money in your pet business, right? So I think affiliate linking is a big opportunity for all petpreneurs, not just content creators, but if you're a dog trainer or a pet sitter or a pet photographer or anyone else in any area of the pet industry. Our industry is based on trust. So if people are entrusting you to care for their pet or give them advice about their pet, you have a high level of trust with these pet parents. So not that we want to take advantage of people, but we want to lean into that. They probably want your recommendations on what products or services to use. And of course, you can link to your favorite toys and treats and collars and whatever, but you can also kind of think outside the box. I have an affiliate program for Wear Wag Repeat Society. So if you have other petpreneur friends who you think could use the kind of support that we have in the membership, you can always become an affiliate for Wear Wag Repeat Society, and you would earn recurring revenue every single month. So that's the cool thing about my subscription membership. My affiliates earn 25% commission every single month that someone stays active in the membership. So that's really cool. But whatever kind of affiliate links you have access to, you can totally batch these out. So and you can repurpose and reuse it every year. So every year in the springtime, people are talking and thinking about fleas and ticks. So maybe there's some stuff related to that you can share and you could repurpose year after year, because ticks are here year after year, right? Unfortunately. There's also summer travel. There's all kinds of stuff that goes along with that. Any kind of pet safety stuff for driving in the car, any kind of like water stuff. Now there's all kind of pet sunscreens, and there's just so many things that you could be sharing with people that you could reuse and repurpose every single summer. So let's put this all together. Think about how you could write an email newsletter that's sharing these seasonal affiliate products. And then you could just go duplicate that email from last June and resend it to people, maybe zhuzh it up a little bit, but just resend it to people this June. Okay. So hopefully you're always getting new people on your email list, but even if you have a lot of the same people on your email list, they're not going to remember that you sent this last June. You can totally repurpose it. And that's a great way to batch out and repurpose your content and ultimately save you time. And that's what it all comes down to. We want to save time so that we can spend more time with our loved ones. Bert is so relaxed during this episode. I'm so happy for him. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know that it was really specific to my personal workflow, but I just wanted to give you kind of a little peek behind the scenes of how I am making these episodes work and how I'm actually enjoying producing them now. Because years ago, I hated it so much, I hired someone to do all the editing for me. So now I've found a system where it's saving me time and it's saving me a lot of money to do all of this myself. So I hope it inspires you to think about what systems you might be able to refine in your own business so you can save some time and some money. Okay, that finishes it up for this week's episode. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Go to wearwagrepeat.com. You can also find me across every social media at Wear Wag Repeat or at Mistick. There's even some places you can comment on this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, you can comment, and I believe on Spotify you can leave comments on podcast episodes too. So, stay tuned. Next week, I will have part 2 of this little mini series. But I really challenge you to think about one thing that you could batch or refine a system for this week. I promise you will feel the difference. And if you need any kind of support or help from me, you know, you can always join Wear Wag Repeat Society. I have office hours every single Thursday. So if you're just kind of feeling a little bit stuck and not really sure how you can save time or what sort of tools or systems would work for you, just give it a try, wearwagrepeat.com/society. There's a 2-week trial, so it's very, very low risk. And even if you do the 2-week trial, you would have access to 2 office hours with me. So it's an amazing value. I would love to help you figure out how you could save some time, because I really want you to be able to spend more time with your pets or like doing whatever it is that you like to do. So come join us in there. I'm here to support you. That is the only way to get my help and my one-on-one support this year. I don't have any one-on-ones. I don't have any freestanding courses. Everything is bundled inside of the membership this year. So that is the best place to get my help. And I'm really happy to give you my help. So hopefully I will see you in there. And otherwise, I will see you back here next Wednesday for part 2 of this little mini series.